Oh, why? Hello there, sir.
Oh, hey, how's it going, Eric?
How are It's going, man. How are you? How are tings, as they say?
Oh, I've been wearing shorts the last 2 days outside. It's been wonderful.
Wonderful for you, but not good for everybody seeing you in those shorts. Let's just be honest. Okay. All right.
No,
All right. Good.
they are publicly acceptable shorts. The baggies. They're not the '80s cross country shorts or track shorts. Basketball shorts of back in the day when I was in high school. But it's been weird because I still had ice on the back of the roof, the north facing side of the house, and I'm wailing like a cowboy. The gutter heater's up over trying to melt the ice, and I'm outside in shorts and a t-shirt as I'm trying to melt ice off the back of the house. So
Okay.
it's been kind of wild.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah. We got with all the different snowstorms that have come in, with all the different things, it's been definitely very interesting, hasn't it?
Yeah, we still have a good bit of snow. Just not on the roof, but in the yard. Now my pool, because my pool is behind the house on the north side of the house, I may not have the snow melted off the side of the pool till May. It's still pretty deep.
Yeah. Okay.
We had over 16 inches of snow, and then when I shoveled the deck off, I threw it in, where I could get to it. So there's still some pretty big, deep spots. How about with you?
Yeah, no, we got, the weather, still stuff. I mean, finally stuff starting to melt a little bit, but yeah, still snow covered and dealing with a dog who can't find a good spot, wants to run and can't run because it's sinking into the snow. So that's been fun and chaotic. He says fun in imaginary air quotes, but just living that life. So yeah, so no, that's been crazy. And yeah, the weather, I mean, yeah, we got the warm up hit. It's a beautiful thing. And chance of, some possible still some late February shenanigans. And, as it goes into March, we've had storms before. So
Oh yeah,
it's the joys of living in Pennsylvania. But yeah, we finally had our first outdoor recess in several weeks. But of course you're dealing with kids, sprinting in, oh, well, the basketball wet in the snow and the this and the that and the mud. And so, it's just always something. But we had, we had President's Day off and we had the Friday before. So we had a 4-day weekend. So kids getting back into routines was rough today. Definitely was rough.
Oh yeah, we had that Fid week, end of January.
Shirt already, buddy. You got a shout out for your shirt.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
The Fid week at the end of January then kind of rolled into an event for 3 days. Well, more than 3 days, but I was out of school for 3 days and coming back, getting into things. But it's the kids have been adapting slowly but surely. We were kids had a 3-day weekend. Yesterday for President's Day was an Act 80 day, so we did some in-service. Yeah. And the kids were home and they got credit for it. So it was a productive day. They gave us some stuff to do, but it was more, how can I phrase this? For our department and some of the other departments, it was doing some AI research on topics that are pertinent to our courses. So it was individualized for us and it was very beneficial.
Oh, nice. That's good. That's good stuff. Yeah. So it was, just a day off for us. And yeah, we just had a couple of days and we don't have any makeup. So that's nice. Nothing on the docket yet. So yeah. And let's get it. Hey, listen, football talk, right?
Oh,
Dolphins. Woo, they're shedding. We got Tyreek Hill gone, which I'm okay with. It was just an issue of making sure he got the ball, kind of like AJ Brown sometimes when he acts out of Philly. Brandon Chubb, though, was a great defensive player, but I'm kind of shocked on that removal. But
he was hurt, wasn't he?
He 2 years ago was phenomenal. Last year battled it a little bit, and he had some issues this year. But it seemed like when they got rid of, I think it was Phillips that they released early, so he left. So they've had some players that I'm kind of shocked that they got rid of, but hey, as far as the other stuff, not too bad. So I'm okay with it. How are the Steelers faring right now?
We are on Rodgers watch again.
Oh yeah. Welcome to Green Bay's world, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Aaron Rodgers, is he coming back? Is he not coming back? Um, you know, our running back is up for, he's a team MVP, unrestricted free agent. So we'll see what happens with that. But everything's kind of all new coaching staff. I think they finalized the coaching staff this week. It's bigger than what Mike Tomlin has had in the past.
Yeah.
So we will see. Pirates made some acquisitions, so we have a possibility of baseball talk. We have football talk. Well, football wise, it's it'll be interesting because there's talk the draft's in Pittsburgh.
Oh, I did hear about that. Yeah, I didn't realize that. Yeah.
And I was talking with a gentleman. I know he's going down to the draft, and I'm like, I don't know. Like, you can't get close. Like the young me, I'd have been pushing into the crowd, and this version of me, it's like, do I want to drive 45 minutes, walk over, not get anywhere close, and spend like an outlandish amount of money on, subpar food? Because you can't even get into like the good places to get food, and everything down there is going to be all, game day. But I don't know. I still might go down and meet some friends. I have a bunch of friends coming in from out of town to go check it out. We will see.
Yeah. Well, how about, okay, so let's talk Olympics. All right. I mean, I love the Olympics. I love Olympic hockey. I am like the women's team dominating, the men's team dominating. Of course, having to hear about your boy Crosby. He's still with, right?
He's dominating
on the Canadian side. So we'll see when they clash. We'll see
he's
what happens.
Canadian. You got to cut him a break.
I don't root for Canada. I'm just throwing it out there. I don't root for Canada.
You root for Miami. Canada's closer to you than Miami is.
Yeah, but Crosby, no. So anyway, but definitely been enjoying that. And then, my wife's joke has been like, boy, do you really? Yeah, we got a little comment there about curling. And I'm like, listen, I think curling's interesting. I think most Americans can say, you know what? I don't have to be in amazing physical shape. I could probably do curling, right? Although the bend of the knee thing, I wouldn't get back up. But the U.S. Mixed pair, the first ever female on the podium for the United States of America in curling. I think they took second place. They took silver. Yeah. So it's been amazing. The young guys, their team's been phenomenal. And so I'm definitely excited for all that. And then we, watching was it Lindsey Vonn, who, tore ACL, had a cast but then she blew her knee out. Like, it's rough, to think about that. But there's been a lot of cool stuff with the Olympics going. And if you want to do a search on YouTube, Jason Kelsey bobsled, right?
Oh,
right before they left for the Olympics, he went in to give it, like, see what it was like and see if he could do it. And it's just an 18-minute little clip. But that's pretty funny. And then there's also a clip of him versus his wife in curling. And, but I definitely, I love the Olympics and, love watching a lot of stuff. Now, when I was a younger teacher, I would get the medal counts and we would tie it all in. So I'm not like that anymore, but, I had a little bit of the TV playing during our end of the day, stuff like that. So, we got some Jason Kelsey fans. I'm trying to get him on the pod. I'm like, hey, now his beard's shorter and he does, it's not as gray or white as mine. So we're trying to get him on the pod. That'd be awesome. But yeah, he's done a pretty good job. So
yeah,
but it's pretty cool. So are you any sports specifically catching your eye?
No, but I was laughing because I saw on social media there was a meme about no matter which Olympic sport you watch, you eventually end up watching curling, and which was true.
60 channels, yes.
There's 15 channels of Olympics, and I'm like, oh, like downhill, and I will check this downhill, and I put it on, and there's curling, and then go watch something else, and curling's on. Well, we went out to eat the one night, my wife and I, and they had curling on TV at the establishment we're at. So, curling's on. We're watching it. And then they cut to a promo of other sports because we were getting into like it was the semifinals or the finals. And it was the tape delay. And I'm like, wait a second. We're watching the finals. And now all of a sudden, figure skating's on. We actually wanted to watch curling. And they put on a different sport when we were looking for other sports they had curling on. like the irony of the whole situation was, was mind boggling.
Sure. Oh, that's funny. Yeah. It's
But
crazy. But yeah, it's been on a lot. Yeah.
I'm doing Cold War, and with Russia not being involved, it's like I says, the medal count and stuff we used to get into, with Russia, who was better, because who's smarter, who's more athletic, who's more powerful, all that stuff. I said, and they get in the medal count, like, well, you may have more medals than I do, but we have more gold, or we have more this, and the back and forth. But with all the chaos going on there, they were not invited. So that took a little bit out of the lesson, but we go over the medal counts. But a lot of the kids aren't into it because they're not into those sports.
Yeah, it's tough. Yeah.
And we have a lot going on, like in our school, because we're a smaller school. So, we have musical. We're getting into crunch time. I think musical is next week. So those kids are bogged down. Our mock trial team and some of those kids are also in musical. They're going to in their mock trial playoffs. Our bocce team is going into playoffs, and we have the other sports winding down. So it's like kids aren't really, for the amount of kids we have in our school, a lot of them are, their time's taken on their activities instead of catching that.
Yeah. Yeah, it definitely throws things off for a little bit, right? Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely interesting. Like I said, I love this time of year, love the sports, a lot of things going on. And it definitely sounds like, I'm going to make fun of Pittsburgh, all about the rings and, what the numbers are. So you definitely, that lesson totally ties in with the Pittsburgh feel about the Steelers and all their things and why we root against the Patriots. So, yeah, you're
I'll tell you what.
You're jiving right in.
The Super Bowl, everyone was like, oh, that game was atrocious. I'm like, I was so relaxed and so happy. If my take is, if the team I want to win is up by 88 points, I can sit back and watch the game and relax, except for one time because that was Atlanta over New England and they came back. That was horrific. Right. I went to bed. I didn't watch the end of the game. I went to bed. I was miserable. But I didn't want New England to win. And I'm like, my neighbors and I, they would come over. We watched like the first 3 quarters, had the fireplace going. We hung out, had some food, we sat and watched the game, and everyone was relaxed. Like, this is great. Like, New England's losing. So we were happy. It wasn't like very competitive, but we were happy. Like, this is great.
That's
the blood pressure wasn't rising. Like, are they going to come back and win this? It's like, yeah, they got this.
All
it's
good.
Kick back and hang out and talk.
Can't beat that, man. Not at all.
No, it's like you just enjoy it. There's no, no stress, no tension. Because like in the playoffs, I was up and towards the end of the season with the Steelers, I'm up, I'm pacing. Even whenever they won, it's like I'm like I couldn't sit down towards the end of the game. Yeah. Like, this is like stressful.
See, that's why you go for a team that blows it early, and then it's a lot less stressful nights going into those final seasons.
But they're too far away for me to cheer for them.
Crazy. Hey, listen, cable knows no bounds, buddy. You can go for whoever.
You say that now, but how many times did I text you say something about the game, but I can't get the game. It's not on my. We have Baltimore on or something, or Philadelphia.
Always Baltimore, Philly. It's terrible. All right. Well, we got a lot of sports, a lot of things going on in the world, but based on the calendar, now I was sprinting today and literally sprinted in here and didn't even change different things that needed to be changed. But I believe I had Monday off. So today was my Monday, Tuesday for kids, but it's Tuesday.
Yeah.
And I know we had some unique times where we were live when we shouldn't have been live, but what Tuesday is it of it's February, right? Yeah, it's February.
It's the 3rd Tuesday.
Huh. Think that means it's time for
the PAECT Pod.
Let's roll it. Welcome to the PAECT Pod, a show for educators by educators. PAECT is a 100% volunteer-run organization that focuses on educational technology integrations in the classroom in Pennsylvania
and beyond.
All right, my name's Eric Verno, and I am the past president of PAECT. And today with me, as always, is my co-host,
Dom Salvucci, and I am now the current president of PAECT.
Yeah, exciting stuff. Exciting stuff. Now, here's the crazy thing is because of how late I was running, I was not able to change. So we're going to just have it like this because I could not officially. Did you get yours changed? No. See, we both didn't get our headlines changed. So we'll have to work on getting those changed. I want to, giving you that. I don't want to take that spotlight.
That's okay.
First pod with the transition. So it's good stuff.
Because at PETE&C, when we were live, we still held our past position. You were still president. I was still vice president.
Yeah. So changing of the guards has occurred. So, yeah. So, and speaking of being live at PETE&C, we're going to do a little pre-Pete convo. And just a spoiler alert, you're stuck with us. We did have, look at this guy. He's got that. Like, listen, I literally sprinted in and sat down and got the computer turned on with 15 minutes to go, 10 minutes to go. So I don't have my shirt like you have. It's sitting over here behind my divider. I've got a school shirt on. I just have the vest on. I don't have that. But I do have one thing that you don't have. Daniel son. We could do a little. Put this on. It's the only thing I got. It's the only thing I got that's handy that you don't have. There we go. Trucker style. Oof, and I froze.
Yep, okay. That's what you get.
I didn't like it. I didn't
get one because at the time that was it for the KTI pre-con. I had to run up to the PACT suite and grab some stuff because we did a special prize patrol at pre-con, and I was getting that. And I was walking around because I have all my ribbons for my PETE&C badge. And someone's like, "Oh, that's pretty good. You got a lot of ribbons." But there was another guy that had like more ribbons. And I said, "Did he have a long beard?" Like, yeah, his beard was longer. Like, yep. So I know who that is.
And then they especially love doing the PACT not president on after the transition did occur. So so I had to pull that out. That's hanging over there.
Yeah.
Near and dear. So I always joke that people are like, "Oh, what's with all those ribbons?" I'm like, I got to try to make the ribbons as long as the real beard. It never works, but I'm always trying. Always trying. That's good stuff. So a lot of good things happening there. And the pre-con was amazing. The excitement that was happening, and the special prize patrol that was the officially sanctioned prize patrol that occurred that day because they do illegally sanction the other prize patrols. We were giving out our PACT Teacher of the Year award, and that went to Melissa Krenzer. And her son had a senior swimming. I believe it was swimming, right? They had a senior
swimming banquet.
So he had to go and be there for that, and she had to be mom. And before I even knew, because I don't know, the past president deals with the different awards, so I didn't even know she was actually getting that. And I was like, yeah, listen, family first. We're always family first. And honestly, even if I would have known it, family first, she would have been there. So we made it a point to present it to her. And I will pat myself on the back. I went up to her and just made up a shtick because I get along with her husband. We always chat a little bit whenever we get on different calls or whatever. He'll always jump in and be like, "Hey," and we'll chat. And I was like, I gotta ask your husband a question. Can you FaceTime him real quick? And she gave me this weird look, and I'm like, I don't know if she got suspicious at that point, but she FaceTimed, and then I just walk away from her with her phone, chatting with him, and I'm like whispering. I'm like, "Okay, so I made an excuse to FaceTime you, and I'm gonna have you so you can see your wife get this thing." Da, 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 da. And he's like, "Oh man!" Oh. So he got to see it, so that was kind of cool. So.
I don't think she knew because from and I wasn't really paying attention from the standpoint of I was trying to read the script because I got pegged as the presenter.
That's good.
I was trying to read the script and not screw it up. And
you did an amazing job for the record. You did an amazing job.
Thank you. She seemed truly surprised. So that was great.
I think she was getting a little suspicious because like all of a sudden, like half of our board, 3/4 of our board showed up in the room and we're all standing there and just like, so, and slowly was letting everybody, because again, nobody knew till maybe 40 seconds before we stole the microphone from her, and I made a little usher to kind of get prize patrol going and steal it from her and then hand it off to you. So But that was pretty cool. But they did a great job. So they were doing their Ninja Warrior skills. So hence the KTI Ninja Warrior setup there. So that was really cool. And then rolling into some amazing times. And I think this was the first time Dom and I were both kind of on the other side. So definitely we're running ragged, doing a lot of different things during the week, but a lot of great feedback. And we will make it a point to have our couple of guests on to talk about their experience at PETE. We had a lot of people that went for the first time, a lot of really cool stuff. So it's always neat to see, but well attended. Sessions were amazing. It was the best compliment I heard about the conference was people struggling to figure out what they wanted to see because there were so many good sessions, which is an awesome thing. And that's a testimony to all the educators in Pennsylvania and all the educators that put in to present. And even some vendors that did some different things. Like they just had some really good topics, timely topics, so it's amazing. So I'm always so pumped up and proud to be a Pennsylvania educator. And then really when you see them, just showing it, it goes back to our conversation with, why am I blanking on his name, guitarist, when we were chatting with Coy. And he was talking about, share your story kind of a deal. Like this is their opportunity to get on the stage and shine when they're doing a presentation. And my gosh, they did an amazing job.
Yeah.
So,
it was really good. And, we had that going on, running around. Fortunately, because I didn't get to see as many sessions as I wanted, helping out on the back end. But the nice thing is, a lot of the sessions are recorded, so we can go back and watch.
You stole my tip. All right, I'm out. Okay.
So,
all right.
But like after the KTI pre-con, I went over to the higher ed session, and they had the discussion. And we give kudos to that crew because we had a couple people who were supposed to be there had to back out because of illness and activities and things going on, scheduling, not being able to get there with schedule changes. And it was one of the first higher ed. It wasn't a full symposium, but they had a good discussion. There were a couple pre-service teachers there, a number of college professors there, and some regular teachers. And we gave some tips to the pre-service teachers. Shout out to the Slippery Rock kids. That was their chapter was there. And, it was pretty good. They had a good discussion. We talked with them for a bit. And then we went into, rolling through the various events and getting into the conference.
Yeah, it was definitely amazing stuff. So a lot of good stuff. So that's what our topic is today. Post-PETE&C Thoughts, and sharing different things. I know we have several people that are watching online. I know Dom usually scans the comments. So as you're listening, as you're thinking about some things that you liked or didn't like, feel free to kind of put those on there. We'll be able to put them on and share your thoughts as far as going through. So again, the layout, we have pre-con, you got Ed Camp, you've got the KTI pre-con, and you have your welcome event. And then we roll into Monday with Holly Clark kicking it off with some good AI conversation, a good keynote there. She did a great job with that. And even some of our award presenters did a great job chatting and talking about when they're talking about the innovation award and things like that. And then just kind of rolling for the day. So there was a lot of excitement, a lot of hype, a lot of stuff out of the gate. The PAECT booth was popping. A lot of people were very excited and a lot of stuff going on there. So yeah, what are your first day thoughts there, Dom?
Came out of the keynote and it was hectic because this is the first year that I've always helped at the conference, usually with the PAECT booth, but this was the first time where I was actually with the program committee running around and doing stuff, and it was a good bit of running around, being able to catch the keynotes and then get down to the podcast area and get stuff set up was good. I like catching the keynotes. Mm-hmm. And sometimes I get to go to the sessions afterwards. Not this time, but it was a pretty good situation. A lot of good events, and I was floating in and about, checking on things and whatnot. So I'm trying to look something up, and I can't find it. There we go. I got it.
And then, yeah, so also with that, kicking off Monday, then we also had some amazing, experiences that were going on. Remake Learning had a whole
Yes.
room. They were there for a large block. A lot of excitement, people going in, learning about the concept, seeing some different examples. That was amazing stuff going on there. Esports then was kicking off. Yeah. So then, yeah, Jamie, who had her official note signed for missing the pod tonight. But yeah, she put about collecting all the ducks. So PACT was doing their specific of you get a thing and there's smaller ducks. We go with our color theme of with the colors like our logo in the top corner there. And then you had to go and show that you were a member, find your regional director to get the larger duck. So unfortunately, those are in my classroom right now. But yeah, that's why I had those hanging out there. And then, did you make that in Remake Learning? That's
Remake Learning. Remake Learning. The room had all kinds of hands-on activities down there. It was right outside by the podcasting area and the poster sessions. I went in because we were going to record content for the pod, but they were busy all day, and I didn't want to interrupt activities to try and record content. Same with the poster sessions. I spent the bulk of my day down there on Monday, and it was jam-packed with people going through great conversations. The poster sessions are phenomenal. That's probably one of my favorite ways to present because you get one-on-one or one to small group conversations and people stop and you have more of a conversational mode at the poster sessions than you do in the big sessions, even though the main presentation sessions, there's a lot of good information given, but you have more time to interact, and more personal interaction in the posters. And then Remake Learning was the same way. They had stations around the room down there, and it was all hands-on activities. It was phenomenal.
Yep. And then heard about, a lot of people were complimenting and talking about the summits. So we kind of kicked off. You had your online learning summit. You had your student-centered learning summit. So those were kicking off that day. So yeah, so Jamie commented on each region designing their own duck to make collector's items. Marissa just commented she thought that's genius. So that's your regional directors know. Now, if you would have come to Cornhole Monday night, we have boards that were each designed for the different regions. So all 6 regions have a different design of cornholes. We should have those pictures somewhere. We'll have to bring them up a couple in the next pod.
Yeah.
But they all like the South Central one has the Capitol on it. I think the Southeast has stuff with the Phillies, like something with the stadium, that area there. I suggested that they put a big cheesesteak on it, but that got vetoed when they were deciding that. So, but yeah, so that's a cool idea with the Ducks, though. That's one.
I know Southwest, they were going to put some of the awards we've won, but you have the Golden Shoe, the Golden Notice, but we're just going basic cornhole, not to like, brag over the other regions, but.
Oh, look at you. Oh, your video froze when you were being all snarky.
My video did not freeze. That's on your end, young sir.
I don't know. On my end, I saw it freeze. When you're mentioning the dusty, it's gold because it's dirty dusty. But that's okay. That's all right. Yeah.
I want to give a shout out to North Central Regional Director JG Ressig, 7th or 8th place on the cornhole tournament, I believe.
17th place. Was that what it was?
Yeah, somewhere.
Yeah. So yeah. Kind of like my award over here that you love to refer to as a door hanger, so I appreciate that. Yep, there it is. Good stuff. All good. Yeah. So then we roll into that evening. We have our PACT reception, and then our PD committee had done a wonderful, amazing job of not only putting up with Dom and I as part of the OG group, but the PACT Pioneer Program. So it's a program where educators go through, hearing other educators practice presenting, doing different things to kind of get your confidence in that realm. And they had several people that graduated. So Dom's got his shirt on. And then he also, they had a beautiful award given. And then I have my certificate back here. So that's back there, the certificate that they were given. So yeah, that was really cool.
Yeah, very nice awards. It's basically, we're trying to grow leadership and encourage people to be presenters and take that step forward, even not necessarily as administrators, but taking a position of leadership, even is the motto leading from the middle of getting your voice out there and advocating for students, showing what's going on and showing what your students are doing. And that's the gist of the program. One is something you came up with, so kudos to you with that idea. And the PD committee's done a phenomenal job putting that into from the idea into practice.
My idea paled in comparison to what they were able to accomplish, because the PD committee is amazing. I love what they're doing. Yeah, because I mean, the reality is that there was a time in Dom and my life where we would paint our facial hair to look a certain way for a costume. And currently the colors are all natural, and we're not going to be here forever. So we definitely got to like train people up, encourage them, but give them whatever help we can and have them grow in their confidence. And then eventually, they'll be leading this show. They'll be doing the PACT, working with the board, and then, just like our KTI Summit kind of a thing, like you're working on raising up the next generation to take that lead. So that's all a part of the program. And there's a saying in the world of church that a healthy front door and a back door is a healthy church, where people are coming, they're being trained up, and then they're leaving and going elsewhere. It's kind of the same with this organization. Like, there's new people coming in. I mean, there were so many people I saw at the conference, especially Monday night, past presidents, people that have been on the board, have done different things. And like, it's like rekindling those, I haven't seen you in forever, but you pick up right where you left off, and the great conversations. And you learn so much from them and being around them. And then they're like just in awe of some of the changes that have occurred over the years, some things that we were just a part of as it was going, some things that we helped do, all the things that are going on. It's just a great moment. So it's awesome. I mean,
it was great seeing some of the people that before I was even a PACT member, I knew them, and they're the ones that brought me into the PACT fold, and they were in leadership positions. It was great seeing them again. They helped, as I mentioned, at the meet and greet. They formed the foundation that we're building the rest of this organization upon, and having them there was fantastic. And being able to reconnect with them, Pete&C's sometimes once or maybe twice a year we run into people. I think you froze, or am I the one that's frozen? And you're
no, it was me. I'm trying to switch out.
Okay, I wasn't sure if I'm just going on and.
No, you're good.
All right. Cool. So
I just switched from one network to the other.
And talk to myself.
How about it? Yeah. Well, at least I had a good. I wasn't like a. Yeah. No. Yeah. I agree. It's neat going through and like doing the whole deal, and then just all the people. Like I said, they were the people that were on the stage doing the different things, and now again just being a part of that crew. But it doesn't matter, whether it was your first PETE&C, whether it was your 30th. Just the feeling's the same with everybody, and having those conversations, and it's amazing. It really is.
Yeah.
Then we roll into Tuesday. All right. And we kick off. Jordan Zimmerman had an amazing session, her keynote, talking about she was talking about the assistive technology, and, tipping her cap to the Apple side, of course. But yeah, I had to put up with that. But other than that, she did an amazing job. And then her follow-up sessions were great. And then, now this time, Remake and esports were replaced with AR VR, which was unbelievable. It's always funny walking in and just seeing people just standing there, and they're like moving their hands all around. You're like, oh, but they're just, testing this stuff out and seeing, the applications. That's always pretty cool. And then you had the, and then we had the innovation playground. So a lot of different sessions that were going on there at the expo hall. That was really cool. And then the AI summit and the Steel STEM summit. So a lot of good stuff happened at the hotel. So that was a really good one. I tell you, AI, to tip the cap towards the Google people, got this when I was hanging out. They were doing the Gemini was big. I mean, all sorts of stuff that's going on with that. They had a good presence there and packed out. That's where I got to act like bodyguard from back in the day, and like bouncer style, and standing at the door and had to cut people off because there were so many people in the line. But and that tips how Dom was saying earlier, and I made a joke, but we were able to do some live stream while they were happening. And then we do have a whole repeat section that if you attended PETE&C, so here's Verno's tip number 1, you have access to go in and see any session that you missed. A majority of them were recorded. at the lodge. So you have that opportunity to go in and check a lot of that out. So I plan on, sometimes I usually don't get a chance to really sit down and watch some of those, but there's a couple of them that I really want to dig into and check out. But unfortunately, the Google stuff that was happening, we filmed it live, but we did not, I don't believe we recorded those. So that's something to check into. But the Gemini was big.
I sat in on the last week. South Central had the post-Pete reflection virtual online. We had a little virtual meetup. And if you have the PETE&C app, you can go through still. And that's what I did. Even like that day I was going through and I was bookmarking sessions that sounded interesting. And there were some that I wanted to go to, I couldn't get into, and just go through and bookmark them because a lot of them are being recorded. So I have them in my phone. I can go back, and if you watch them, they're better to watch on your computer. In fact, that was the word was going out. You can watch them on a computer, but not on a mobile device. People were able to access them on a mobile device, but they were small videos. So the best to watch on a computer, but you sit there and scroll through and have an idea because you see the session, you get the information, and in the app, they also have links to any uploads and resources that were uploaded to the app. So you have access to that, all that content on your phone, and you can sit there and watch the videos. So I plan on making time to, I know Girls Gone Google, that's something that Karen and Missy's have always talked about. Make a date with yourself, send yourself an email a few weeks down the road to go through and reflect, and go have a coffee somewhere, get out of the house, or just go chill. If the snow's melted and the sun's out, go sit on your porch and relax and enjoy. So I think I'm going to do that and watch some of these videos, some of these presentations I wanted to see.
Yep. And Jamie's saying pretty good on a tablet as well. So
yes, for someone who couldn't make it to the show, she's awfully active today.
she could type it out. She was a voice issue.
We were looking forward to having her as a guest. We definitely have to get her back on.
I do think the truth is she was actually scared off because her numbers were starting to climb into the Snyder Macer realm. And I don't know which one of them called in the mafia to kind of muscle her out. But I think one of them, it sounds like there's some dirty pull going on. I'll just throw it out there.
You know what? It could have been one of them calling her off instead of her.
No,
you never know.
Never know. It could be them.
Little envy green on their part.
I'm trying. I do think there's something. There's something to it. I don't know. Something to it. We'll see. They don't want to have their streak broken. So, all right. So Marissa was able to hit the Girls Gone Google session. And she's already got it penciled in. So yeah, we talked about that in our pre-Pete chat, but that is something that we stole from the Staggerwalt and Halcott duo. I know they've said that a lot. They've shared that a lot. Then we roll into Wednesday, and I tell you, I've never had anybody fake a sickness to get out of hanging out with us, but she hits it. Number one. I still think she got bullied, but anyway. And then Wednesday hit, we had the PA Invention Convention, and then we had some different members of legislation there. It just floors me when I talk to people who are representatives, who are senators for our state, and they've never heard of PETE&C. So, for anybody listening, if you happen to have the ear of anybody and you're having those conversations, mention something, because it's always awesome for them to know what's going on in their backyard and to be able to come out and see. So we have different ways they can reach out, then we can make sure that they know what's going to be occurring. So a lot of good stuff there. But we had the Invention Convention. There was a cybersecurity summit going on. So a lot of your CSOs, a lot of your tech directors were there for that. Then we had our sessions going and a wonderful buffing, Brian Buffington, Buff Notes, a lot of great stuff with his session that he shared at the end. And then, closing it out, lunch, the sit down lunch, and of course the peanut butter pie.
Yes.
Yep. Yeah. A lot of good stuff there on Wednesday. So yeah. So like I said, my tip number one was repeat. Make sure you get on, whether it's a tablet, on the computer, log into your account. If you're on your phone, use that to bookmark your stuff. That way, when you pull it up on the web, you got those things bookmarked. Definitely make it a point to sit down, reflect, and get a chance to do that. What other thoughts did you have about the tips and post-PETE thoughts?
I mean, go through the program, go through the website, look at the resources that were posted, and a lot of the teachers, some of the things I forgot about, but a lot of the stuff, they have resources there that you can use free for educators, and they work with, you can adapt them to any grade level, any subject. You can't beat the free resources, and even if it's just a short, I'm going to use it once in a while to break things up, or just try it out. It's great to go through, change things up, because it gets stale if you do the same thing over and over, even if it's a fun activity. They always say, like, too much cake, it will still make you sick, even if you like cake. Too much candy. My one professor when I was in grad school for reading, he said, if kids only read comics, who cares? He says, reading's like candy. If you read too much garbage, eventually you'll get sick and you'll start reading something better. If all you eat is candy, eventually you're going to get sick, and then you move on to something healthier. So, with doing something, an activity over and over, it's going to get boring for the kids. Try something different, and the resources are there. As I ramble on, sorry.
Yeah, no, you're good. That's a good point. Yeah, great stuff there. Yeah, so a lot of good stuff that occurred. We're going to be, highlighting different things as we go. As people are watching the different stuff, we're going to be requesting, hey, if you want to share, you want to come on the show and talk about it, we're going to be doing that. Yeah, so definitely something to look forward to. But yeah, I think we're gonna roll over into highlighting some stuff that's happening around PACT. What do you think? Let's give some updates.
Sounds good.
All right, here we go. All right, so let me pull up my setup here. All right, let me fix this. All right, so as always, we like to look at our calendar and see what's rolling in your neck of the woods, as they say. So let's see, what are we at? We're at the 17th. So we've got right here, we have statewide book study, the shift to student-led. So reimagine classroom workflows with UDL and blended learning. Oh, hey, Stephanie, how we doing? All right, so that's happening. So you can sign up. All right, so it started February 11th, but you can still jump in.
Yes.
If you're interested, get in here, click the link, jump in. I know Dom does a good job of getting around to a lot of those things.
Yeah, and the nice thing with the book studies, and Eric has mentioned this before, you can get in and lurk, even if you're not caught up with the book and you're not reading where they're at. You could jump in, hang out, get the ideas, and see if it's something you can implement. You don't have to go in and talk and have your hand up the whole time. You can go in and observe, and that's the one nice thing about the book studies is we don't push. Go in. There's great conversation. There's good resources being posted, and go from that standpoint.
You are correct. Yeah, so a lot of good stuff there, and look at that, Buff Nuggets to be a hook for my math lessons. All right, begging to do them daily. That's awesome. All right, yeah, a lot of peeps throughout there, Halcott, definitely. All right, so looking at we got the tail end. We're going to be having our board meeting in March, but just to highlight a couple things going on here, Gamify Test Prep. So Melissa Krenzer is going to be leading that with the Northwest. But it's virtual Zoom, so anybody can attend. So if you're looking at gamifying your test prep, getting ready for, that time of year that all teachers in Pennsylvania love, the reason why we became educators, but definitely a way to liven it up a little bit and shake things off. And then the March 14th South Central Ed Camp is going to be kicking, so that registration's open now. That'll be happening at the York County School of Technology, where I was this evening for my daughter to take her test, and she passed her state board. So that's exciting. But anyway, but that's definitely, so the cost is free, lunch provided. So definitely an awesome thing to have. So if you're interested, March 14th, that'll be kicking off. And then looking at the glide show, it's kind of light on the glide show. things that have passed, and then just some things, Robobots Student Showcase, Meadville, so hosted by the Northwest. So, but we'll be highlighting some more things, and I know our regional directors will be working on getting more things into the March program as we're getting ready, moving forward. So awesome stuff. Oh yeah, Meg, Missy working on the Ed Camp front and doing work there.
And I know come April, Slippery Rock University, the student chapter is having an Ed Camp, April 18th. Then we have further out for the student chapters. Please mark your calendars. Coming up in November, we have the Higher Ed Symposium is going to be going on. So more information will be coming out on that. We really want to make a call out to the student chapters to reach out to the Higher Ed Committee and, talk with them, because we do need you guys to be a little more vocal and let us know what you need. I know they're starting back up the different chapters around the state. So reach out to us, give us a holler, and we'll get you going.
Awesome stuff. And then Jamie sharing her amazing use of Magic School AI there to do a rap battle. I like that. So we're kind of like hitting the tail end here. So some things just to give you a heads up. We are going to have a special podcast next week, and we're going to be working and featuring one of our sponsors. Toddle will be on to talk, and they have their event happening in the sweetest place on earth. I believe it's the 23rd on Monday. They're doing their event, and then we're going to have them on Tuesday night, I think the 24th. Correct me if I'm wrong, Dom. I didn't double check.
I believe that's 24th is when we have them on.
Yep. So we're going to have them on. So we look forward to having a lot of people coming on to hear about their program. And just to wet the whistle, we got a commercial from Toddle. Here we go.
With Toddle, you can design your entire curriculum end-to-end, from courses and units to lesson plans and assignments, all in one place. At every step of the curriculum design process, you are supported by our AI-powered curriculum design assistant, the most advanced tool of its kind in the world. It helps you generate thoughtful course outlines, suggests learning experiences, creates differentiated tasks, and more. And all of this in just minutes. Once your plans are in place, Toddle's curriculum maps and analytics offer a clear, comprehensive view of your program, making it easy for teaching teams to stay aligned and for school leaders to make informed decisions.
Well, before we close things up, Dom, looks like you had something. I think you were going to share a screen on something. I see some.
Well, no, this was just some of the things like from a little bit of tech news, and they stole my thunder with the Buff Nuggets from Brian Buffington. It is a free newsletter, weekly dose of ed tech news and strategies. It's pretty good. A lot of good tips. You sign up for it, and it won't spam you. You get an email once a week with information. So, speaking of which, remember PAECT. We send out a weekly email, and we have the newsletter that goes out. Also, we have email on Mondays, and then I believe it's Wednesdays the newsletter goes out. So check your email for that.
Yeah, State Blasts go out on Monday, and then the Multi-View Education Technology Today comes out on Wednesday. And that's live in Pennsylvania and in New York. So a lot of good stuff there. Excellent. Yes. We're definitely excited to hear what they have to share. We're looking at doing a lot of things with them. So got to chat with them. They had their booth at PETE&C. And so had some great conversation with them about what they have going on. So definitely excited for that.
I think a number of our sponsors were there at PETE&C, and it was great catching up. I got to talk with most of them. Some weren't out and about at their booths. They were away whenever I went through, but thank you to all of our sponsors, because they make all of this possible.
100%. All right. Well, those are some post-PETE&C thoughts. We're not going to be just stopping here. We'll be sharing other things as we go. But truly appreciate everybody for being on live, all the different comments that were being made. Always appreciate that. And so thank you so much. And as always, remember, PAECT.
We are
the voice of EdTech,
in Pennsylvania,
and
beyond.
all right. So let's go ahead and thank our sponsors. Thank you all for being here live. Appreciate you.
PAECT and the PAECT Pod would like to thank all of our sponsors. Our Tier 3 sponsors, EduSpire, Tech the Next Step. Our Tier 2 sponsors, ClassLink, more time learning, less time logging in. Teachers First. SAM Labs, engaging and effective K-8 STEM and STEAM educational solutions. Lego Education. Toddle, teacher built, AI first, more than an LMS. Once again, PAECT and the PAECT Pod would like to thank all of our sponsors for the support that allow us to do what we do. Thank you.